Nadine Woodward has won the election to be the mayor of Spokane. I don't know what the laughter is about, but elections are hard fought and they can be loud and angry and expensive. The citizens of Spokane have had their voices heard, and now it is time to unite behind Mayor-elect Woodward and allow her to lead Spokane through this next phase of growth for our great city. I look forward to finishing my last 2 months of service as council president and helping move Spokane forward however I am able. My campaign would not have been possible without the many people I would like to thank. And my lovely, patient, supportive, and beautiful wife, my family, my awesome campaign manager, seriously, so amazing, Sandra, Adam, and all the city council members and staff, my friends, especially individuals like Carrie. Happy birthday, Carrie, and Jack, Jody, Mason, and Joe that have made a rough process very bearable. My interns, Robert, Emma, Jemmy, Jacob, Derek, Eric, Gabriel, Alex, Zach, and Zach. We had an amazing crew of talented, dedicated individuals. Let's give them a round of applause. I would like to thank the 600 people that volunteered for our campaign, who knocked on doors, made calls, provided help with marketing, delivered yard signs, wrote letters, waved signs, helped at events, gym, shot film, ran errands, and helped us keep our sanity. A huge shout out to Dan, Camille, Jack, Greg, Cindy, and Carolyn, David, Melissa, Lee, and Paula, Mary, Jim, and others that gave significant time and energy to the campaign. And thanks to my steering committee for all of their help. Huge thanks to the local Democrats, the great unions of our city, the activists, organizers, and advocacy groups have supported my campaign. Let's give them a round of applause. I would like to thank the 1,200 individual donors who gave over 1,700 times, the 50-plus people who hosted house parties, and the multiple venues that allowed us to gather. And a special shout out to Hamilton Studios for being rock stars for everyone in our community. I thought last year when I announced, and again when we kicked off the campaign at the McGinnity Room, that this election would be about how we want to grow as a city. But it turned into a referendum on homelessness. So I want to finish this with a story about my friend John Hummel. I've not told this story publicly on purpose, but I believe it highlights how complicated each and every one of us is as individuals and how this issue touches each of us. I met John Hummel in 1992 while washing dishes at a coffee shop called Espresso Delicioso. I was 23 and John was 43, and we hit it off. We played pool after work. We went to shows and discussed at great length John's extensive literature collection. You see, John had recently lost a race for the state legislature in Montana by 200 votes, and he was one of the most intelligent people I ever met, and he was super charismatic. But John was also an alcoholic. John had a girlfriend he was living with when I left town in 1995 to go to Oakland. By 1996, his girlfriend and him had broken up, and John was headed to Oakland to stay with me for a while. No job and no friends. He didn't last long in Oakland. He lived on and off with friends in Spokane from 1996 to 2001. During this time, he inherited money, and I offered to invest the money for him and get him into rehab. For him, this was not an option, and the money was squandered. My wife and Ann and I moved back to Spokane in 2001. John, by this point, had been homeless for many months of the year. I started seeing him, giving him money, and I eventually signed a lease on an apartment for him and paid a significant portion of his monthly rent. He lost his apartment due to allowing people not on the lease to move in. I had no idea what to do. I had provided offers of rehab, actual housing. John luckily had a monthly Social Security check, but by this point he could not have enough to afford rent. He lived in his friends, Betsy and Mark's garage. Betsy is here for a while, but eventually ended up back on the streets. In 2011, when I was first running for council, I was in the bank making a deposit for my campaign. John was cashing his Social Security check. He ran over and gave me $100 for the race. The teller almost fell over. Did that homeless gentleman give you his money? You got my vote, Ben. And in 2006, the mayor and I were at House of Charity announcing 24/7 a day week shelters to the press. And I look over, and there is John reading his Emma Goldman book and watching. And he was always reading. We had a great chat that day. In 2018, John passed away at the House of Charity. John had people that loved him and tried to help, but John was a nomad. He was incredibly intelligent, but died homeless. John was complicated, just like each of us. John had human dignity. I want to say that while I am sad, I couldn't fix John's situation. I am forever grateful that Catholic Charities exist, and that Catholic Charity exists with no judgment, and he was able to stay at their facility on and off throughout and at the end of his life. We cannot fix everyone, but we damn well better try, and at the very least, we damn well better provide for every member of our community's basic needs. And I'm just going to say, we spent over $1.2 million on this election, and money is the root of all problems in politics. Thanks for all the support, love and hugs to a better future for Spokane. Ann and I will be out of town until the end of next week. Please, no calls or emails until the 15th. Have a great rest of the night. Thank you for being here.